Make sure not to spend the rest of your life at the computer. Make sure to always be careful with your words. Realise the things that you say are heard, and that goes for every tweet and YouTube comment ever made in the whole wide world. That's your social life. That's where your mates at. Say BRB return 10 hours later, well, OMG and KMT GCSE English prevailing across the nation. And I can't promise we'll ever meet again, but I'll monitor how old and fat and ugly you get whenever I'm checking my Facebook. I watch Falls from Grace like the parents of Amy Winehouse did. That's something I can promise. Make sure not to spend the rest of your life at the computer. You'll change. Your hair will get greasy and you'll start to act ratty. Hibernate for winter with your pants round your ankles. A search history so filthy it would shock Kim and Aggie they'd have to call in the cavalry. Rubber gloves and everything, see. Video killed radio. DVD killed video. Netflix killed that. Now there's illegal streaming. Everything becomes as pointless as Yahoo in the end. My PS1 is the only thing I'll be keeping. I'm old school like that.
I'm very passionate about giving voices to people that don't feel like they have a say in society. So young people or working class people, things like that I feel passionate about representing or trying to represent, and giving them a voice in the best way that I can. I want it to be able to appeal to everyone. So obviously at the core of my work, what I discuss most is in relation to the young or the working classes, but now more than ever I want to broaden it out so it can appeal to people of all classes, ages, nationalities, ethnicities, whatever, just on a worldwide spectrum. I want people to be able to relate to my work and understand it, and so I can start hopefully talking for more and more people.
We need a space where we can realise it. We need a space where we can receive informal education, because maths and science may not appeal to the entire generation, a space of creation in which we ourselves are created. These spaces could spout the future leaders of our nation, leaders who are currently looking out the windows of their homes feeling marginalised. The kids who are asked what they want to do in life and they reply to their teacher, well, I just want to stay alive. Who says they cannot run the country right simply because they are not part of the Eton alumni? We need a space to keep our future off of streets.
I've been inspired by lots of different things. I suppose other poets, of course, people like Gil Scott-Heron, John Cooper Clarke, Allen Ginsberg, other writers. I've looked at actors for inspiration, I've looked at musicians for inspiration, and then just life in general. Whatever you experience can be harnessed and used as something to fuel your creativity, so I just take on bits of everything.
I rise at 5, rub the sleep from my eyes, I'm up early like a rooster. And I'll get ready for the daily procedure, meaningless grind like I'm trapped in a computer. Move to the kitchen. Mum's been washing clothes in the sink. It's gonna stink in the drains again, the snails are set pace again. I think 8 o'clock, and I'm off to school. No satchel, no shining morning face. The police are on the move and regularly pause. See that I'm young and assume that I have no respect for the law. Well, let me surprise you. I do. My IQ is over 2, I just don't have respect for how the law's enforced. So PC plod, don't get funny with me. You've never had too much mumph at the end of the money like me. Don't get your knickers in a twist and don't get in a kerfuffle. Don't say a word till you've walked in my shoes, felt the holes in the soles and then stepped in a puddle. Because you don't understand stress.
I know plenty of people that write all the time and don't really share it, and I think it's important that you share it, and every voice needs to be heard. Every voice is going to be different, so I think, yeah, do it. Go to a local night, sign up to do a slam or an open mic, get your face out there, make a blog if you want to, share it on there, just get your voice out there, and it'll happen.
PA tells me the army brings out the best and the worst in people. I'm a different man now than I was before. The boys are like my family.
And when you're at war, you see yourself risking your life for their cause. It's surreal, but it's real. And what strikes home more, soldiers have died in their millions doing the same job 100 years before. Soldiers like Simon, 1 inch from death when he was shot with a projectile to the throat. We tried to evacuate him, but he had one hand on his wound and kept talking on his radio. He lived, but still has the scars to show. We all reckon he looks proper cool with it. Back home. Home. Home is where the barracks are, where you may watch the car park parade of the horse guards, red coats, golden helmets atop steeds named Adamas, Achilles and Mercury. In the last century, not much has changed. On the front line, vehicles replace horses, but other than that, war is pretty much the same. We still battle on blood as our forefathers would, each for our individual countries' names, and BA looked at me. He looked at me and said, "We need to know Britain's behind us. If we give up, we have lost lives in vain. We're still here 100 years later." And I agreed with him that war is strange.
I think with poetry and with writing nowadays, it's starting to make a comeback as such into the eyes of people that haven't really been fussed about it before. And I think there's a lot more opportunities out there right now, just in the last few years, and there's going to be more to come. So I think the possibilities are limitless at the moment, and that's what I'm very excited about. So I just want to keep on going. I'll do it like whether the possibilities are there or not. I'll continue doing it because I love it, but I think that it's going to have a broader and broader future, and that's what I'm really excited about. I've gone to some really bad nights, I've performed at some terrible events, but I've also performed in brilliant places where there's lots of people that are buzzing off it. I mean, I think that's the final sort of stage for my work. Is a lot of it is written to be performed, so in order to sort of complete the cycle, I need to get it out there, and yeah, I think that's the best way of going about it, and I love doing it every time I do.
See, it takes a lifetime to build a future, but only a second to lose it, which is why I make the most of every day. Life is what you make of it, but worth so much more than how so many choose to live it, and this is where our children are raised. I'm not even sure if I believe in a God sometimes, I still pray. But for me, myself, I refuse to be standing there, arms open should death take a stab at me. I won't be another number on the list of kids that faded tragically. See, I almost died when I was 3. I was 1 hour from the coffin when my appendix was removed from me, so now I can't waste time on death dice and acting stupidly, because when I see the scar my operation left me within scrutiny, I stand there in my nudity, realising how lucky I am to be just breathing between you and me. Life may be hard, but it's deeply rooted. Beauty means I could never throw it away for something foolishly. I wish the youth some unity. God knows we need it. When the government gives the tower blocks in our council estates a lick of paint to hide deprivation beneath aesthetics, but we're all common as muck, so who gives a fuck? We're born to be arrested or lie on our deathbeds. And so many lie on their deathbeds. And that's why I've got to say, rest in peace, Jay Kensett, age 16, stabbed to death. Rest in peace, Max Weston, age 16, found critically injured at the foot of a wall near Ditchling Court. Rest in peace, Deacon Brennan, who hanged himself in his bathroom at the age of 18. Rest in peace, Matt Sutler, age 17, who died when a car driven by his friend crashed into a garden wall in Whitehawk Estate. Rest in peace, Ollie Golby, who passed away only days before his 18th birthday in a moped accident. Rest in peace, Connor Saunders, aged 19, when a single punch in a fight ended his life. Rest in peace Lee Rebick, aged 18, who collapsed outside the local nightclub and died of cardiac arrest. Rest in peace Alex Jackson, aged 19, when he died in a car collision up the road from my house. And rest in peace Kyle Birchall, aged 17, when he took his own life. You still talk to us in our dreams, lads. You live on in our thoughts every day. I write an elegy for the young on the backs of the guns that we use to prove our adulthood. I hold an elegy for the young on the back of my tongue, for every day I will update it. I pray no more will fill the page. The future's where our name is. The future's where our name is.